personalized communication on a ring network, then mesh network, and the hypercube network. Then hypercube using the general algorithm, and the that is the optimal algorithm. That is also discussed, and we have seen the cost analysis for the ring network, mesh network, and the hypercube network also seen in last lecture. If you see there, then agenda of today's lecture will be the that is the new topic, that is the circular shift operation. Okay, and we will see the circular shift on a mesh network, then we'll see it on a hypercube network. Okay, two examples we will see, and after that one more topic is there, improving performance of operations. Okay, so this is a theoretical topic, how you can improve the performance of the communication operations. In brief, you need to discuss that topic. This is a theoretical topic, but we'll discuss that one also, and after that your unit number 3 will end or finish, if you see that. Then discussing about circular shift. So what is circular shift? Because till now we have seen the different communication operations for a parallel, you can say the communication networks, if you see there, or parallel computational networks, if you see that. Because generally parallel computational network means these nodes are distributed, okay, in the form of a distributed system, if you see that, and it's having the capability to process the particular task. Okay, if you see there, whatever task is assigned to that particular node. So if every node is responsible to send or receive the message in that case. So which operations you are using for communication, it depends on your choice also, whether you are using the one to all broadcast, or all to one reduction, or all to all broadcast. Okay, that kind of operation, or scatter and gather operations, you see there, or all to all personalized communication, that is the total exchange of messages. So it depends on your choice. So another important topic here is circular shift. Okay, so circular shift is a spatial permutation. You know, permutation and combinations you have studied in second year discrete mathematics, I think. Okay, that is the NCR. Okay, that is permutations, and number of permutations and combinations you might have studied. So spatial permutation, in which node I sends a data packet to node I plus q mod p in a p node ensemble, or p node, you can say the network, if you see that, where q is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to p. So value of q ranges from 0 to p, if you see there, and that is the I will be the sending node, okay, or sender, and that packet that is sent by the I, okay, that will be sent to the node I plus q mod p, if you see there. If value of I is if you see there 1, okay, and value of q is 0, so it will become 1 mod p, if you see there. So it will send the messages to the uh, mod p number of nodes in that particular p node network, if you see that. So mod p means, one mod p means it will be, if value of p is 8, then it will send packet to the, you can say the either along that column or row, if you see that. So we'll see it with the help of that example directly, then you will understand in a better way. Okay, and if you see there, the implementation of this circular shift on a ring is rather, you can say the sometimes intuitive, or you can say it is somewhat tedious, if you see there. Then it can be performed in min of q comma p minus q network communications. Okay, and that is the communication possible in that particular ring, you can say the circular shift operation. Okay, so it is possible for q comma p minus 1 q p minus q number of neighboring, you can say the nodes, if you see there. So if you see that q is 0, then it is possible between 0 comma p. Okay, that is 0 comma 8 in case of the 8 node network. If you see that, so number of communications possible are you can say the 0 comma 8. If you see that is the, if q is 0, that is the, if q is you know, so what is q there, you should know that one also. Okay, if you see that, because value of q ranges from 0 to p in that particular network. Means in case of the 8 node network, value of q will range from 0 to 7, if you see that, and I will be the sending node, if you see that. Then in case of the mesh algorithms, then okay, it follows that is the in case of circular shift operation. Okay, we shift in one direction only, all processors, which is followed by the next direction. So how it happens, you will see that is this movement may be along a row or along a column, if you see there. So generally we are using here that is the shift operation along the either row or column. We will see that one, but the associated time has an upper bound of t equal to ts plus twm into root p plus 1, if you see that. So this is the, you can say the communication cost that is associated with the you can say the circular shift operation on a mesh network, that is the ts plus twm into root p plus 1. You know, for mesh network also number of that is the nodes along that particular row or column are assumed to be root p, and ts is the startup time, tw is the forward transfer time, and m is the number of ports. Okay, so and root p plus 1, that is shown, that is the root p means number of nodes plus 1. Okay, this will be the number of steps there, if you see there. Then we'll see the circular shift on a mesh or mesh network. How actually it happens, you can see from this particular diagram, if you see there. So 4 diagrams are shown here. That is the diagram number A, B, C, and D, if you see there. So this is the actually the communication steps in a circular file shift on a 4x4 mesh network. So there are total 4x4 mesh total. If you see there, 16 nodes are there in that particular mesh network. Okay. So in first step, that is the diagram number A, initial data distribution and the first communication step is represented. Okay, so it is happening the row-wise communication of the row-wise transfer of the messages or the distribution of the messages, if you see that. So if you see the diagram A, that is the 0 is in first step, 0 is sending the message to the 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and 3 will send to the 0 there, if you see there. Okay, and that's why that particular dotted line is shown from 3 to 0. Similarly, in next row from bottom to top, we are taking the row by rows. Okay, in diagram A. So from bottom second row will be 4, 5, 6, 7. That is nodes in that particular row are 4, 5, 6, 7. So 4 will send the message 4 to 5, 5 will send 5 to 6, 6 will send 6 to 7, and 7 will send the you can say the 7 to the node number 4, if you see there. Similarly, that is the next row, that is the from top, that is the second row, that is the 8 will send message to 9, that is the 8, 9 will send message 9 to 10, 10 will send message 10 to 11, and 11 will send that message to the node number 8. Okay, along the same row. Okay, if you see there, so dotted line or dotted line arrow indicates the that is the direction of message transfer or message distribution along the row. Okay, but last node will send that message to the first node along that particular row, if you see there. Similarly, topmost first row, that is the 12, 13, 14, 15. 12 will send the message 12 to 13, then 13 will send to 14, 14 will send to 15, and 15 will again send to the 12. So in this way, that is the first step of the data distribution will be completed here, if you see there, or it is also called as the data distribution in the first communication step. Okay, that is represented in diagram A, if you see there. So after completing the communication step number 1, what will be the output there? You can see that output in diagram number B. Okay, step, and If you see there, so in diagram number B, every node have received the data from the other node. That is 0 have received the data 3 from the node number 3. 1 have received 0, 2, 1. 3 have received data 2. Similarly, next row 4 have received 7, 5 have received 4, 6, 5, 7, 6. Similarly, second row 8 has received 11, 9 has received you can say the 8, 10 has received 9, and 11 has received 10. And 12 has in first row, that is topmost row, 12 has received 15, 13 has received 12, 14 has received 13, and 15 has received 14. If you see there, and if you see there, and after that is the distribution of data at the end of the first step, that is the you are preparing for the second step. That is the diagram B is showing step to compensate for backward row shift there. Okay, in that case you need to perform, that is the column wise operation for the only one column. Here we have selected, that is the leftmost column, that is the nodes having 12, 8, 4 and 0. Okay, so data distribution will be that is the along the same column, that is the 0 will send the message to 4, that is 3, then 4 will receive 3, then 4 will send the data 7 to 8, 8 will send data 11 to 12, and again finally 12 will send that data 15, okay, associated with 12 in first step. Okay, it will be sent to the node 0, if you see there. So this is the, you can say, the step to compensate for backward row shift in the circular shift operation on mesh. Then if you see there, uh, then you can perform the column shift in diagram C. Okay, after that compensation step, that is the next step will start, that is the diagram number C is shown there, column shifts in the third communication step. Okay, so here actual column shift takes place. Okay, like opposite to the step number 1, that is the whatever step is shown in diagram A, opposite to this step, that is the diagram C is showing the column wise distribution, if you see there. Okay, if you see that, so in column wise distribution, in first column 0 is sending data to 4, that is the 15, 4 is sending data to 8, that is 3, 8 is sending data to 12, that is 7, and 12 is sending again data to 0 along the column, that is the 11, if you see that. So that is the after executing the step number 3, if you see that. So column 1 content is shown in diagram D. If you see that, that is the final distribution of the data. So 0 will having the data 11, 4 having 15, and 8 having 3, and 12 having 7. If you see that. Similarly, second column. Okay, if you see in diagram C, 1 will send to 5, 5 will send to 9, 9 will send to 13, and 13 will send to 1. Similarly, third column 2, 2 will send to 6, 6 will send 10, 10 will send 14, and 14 will send to 2. If you see that. Similarly, final column is there, that is 3 will send to 7, 7 will send to 11, 11 will to send to 15, and 15 will send final to 3 in final column. So you can say the final distribution of the data, that is shown in diagram D after executing the step number 3, or after executing the third communication step. Okay, so that is the 4 columns are there, data will be like the, or you can consider the rows also. Okay, but we have executed column wise distribution in last step, that's why you can consider the columns. That is 12 will that is first column we have already discussed. Then second column will have the data final, that is the 13, 9, 5 and A1 having the data 8, 4, 0 and 4, 12, if you see that. And the third column will have the data 14, 10, 6, 12. Sorry, 6, 2. That is the data received will be 9, 5, 1, 13 respectively. Similarly, final column will receive the data 10, 6, 2 and 14, if you see that. So this is the communication steps in a circular 5 shift on a 4x4 mesh network. Okay. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, is it visible? Sorry. Okay, is it visible now? Slide?
No, sir. Slide is not visible.
Now?
No.
Okay, everyone can't say this slide now. So it was just stopped, na, this slide. Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, now it is visible.
No.
Okay, I need to share it again. Okay. Okay, I will share it again because it is unshared here. Okay, I think now it is visible, na? Yes, so it is visible, I think. Okay, so is it visible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we have discussed about the final distribution of the data also. So this is the communication step in a circular file shift on a 4x4 mesh network just discussed. Then we'll see the circular shift on a hypercube network. If you see there, yeah. So in case of the hypercube network, okay, you need to map a linear array with 2 raised to d nodes on a d-dimensional hypercube. Okay, so mapping is important here. You have to map the linear array on a 2 raised to d node or d-dimensional hypercube. If you see there, so in that case, you have to show the that is the particular links which are not considered during the communication. If you see that, so in our diagram we have shown dotted links which are not considered during that particular step of the communication, because we have to map the linear array with the hypercube there. If you see that, so it should look like a linear network. If you see that, during the communication means actually it will be hypercube. So to perform a Q shift, we expand Q as a sum of distinct powers of 2. Okay, so distinct powers of 2 you are considering here in order to shift the that is the Q number of shifts. If you see that, so if Q is sum of S distinct powers of 2, if you see that, the circular Q shift on a hypercube is performed in S pages. If you see, and the time for this is upper bounded by t equal to ts plus twm into 2 log p minus 1 steps there. And if you are using the e-cube routing, in that case it can be reduced to that is the t equal to ts plus twm. If you see that, means communication cost will be reduced in this case, because that is the 2 log p minus 1 term is not present there, or it is negligible in that case. So this is about a circular shift on a hypercube. So you can see the example how actually it takes place here, because you are mapping the linear array with a d-dimensional hypercube network. If you see that, that's why if you see we have shown the dotted lines between the that is linked between 0 3, then 4 7, then 5 2 and 1 6. So if you start from 0, that is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 0, this is like a ring network. Okay, if you see that linear network, if you see that, okay, because you have to make that kind of mapping there. So if you see the diagram A, the first page that is the 4 shift step we will consider there. Okay, that is the direction is also shown here, shifting how the exchanges are done during this particular step. That is the if you see there, 0 is exchanging data with 3, then 3 is exchanging with the 4. Means how circular shift is happening there, 0 3 4 7 0. That is one ring is there, and another ring, you can say the 1, 2, 5, 6, and 1. That is considered there. If you see that, okay, actually it is the hypercube. That's why how circular shift is performed there. That is the 0 will send message 0 to 3, 3 will send message 3 to 4, 4 will send message 4 to 7, and 7 will send message 7 to the that is the 0th node. If you see that, so at the similarly concurrently 1 will send to 2, 2 will send to 5, and 5 will send to 6, and 6 will send to 1. So at the end of the first communication step of the for shift, you can see the that is the right hand side diagram of the diagram A. Okay, you will get the data associated with each node. That is the 0 will have the data 7, 3 will have 0, 4 having 3, and 7 having the 4. That is the data received in the previous step in a circular shift, that is the operation. Similarly, 1 has received data 6, 2 has received 1, 5 has received 2, and 6 has received data 5 in previous, that is the circular shift operation. If you see that, then if you see the diagram B, that is the second page of the one shift operation. If you see that, so here we are selecting the pair of nodes, like again if you see that, not pair of, this is the circular shift. If you see that, that is the 0, 1, 6, 7, and 0. This is the one you can see the loop you are considering there. Then another are the ring network. Okay, linear network you are considering there. Another linear network you are considering here, like the you can consider here, yeah, 0, 1, then no, there is no link or communication between 1 and 6 in step number, we can say the second phase A1 shift. That is the, it will be 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, and 7 to 0 again. That kind of communication or circular shifting is there. If you see there, okay, in diagram B, if you see there, that is the first shift, A first shift. Okay, that is the communication will be in this path. That is the 0 will send data to 1. Okay, 1 will send to 2, 2 will send to 3, 3 will send to 4, 4 will send to 5, 5 will send to 6, 6 will send to 7, and 7 will send finally to the 0. If you see there, so final data distribution after the 5 shift, okay, of a circular shift operation. So 0 will have the data 3, okay, then 1 will have the 4, 2 will have the 5, 3 will have the 6, then 4 will have 7, 5 will have this 0, 6 having data 1, and 7 will have the data 2. If you see there, so this will be the final data distribution after the fifth step or fifth shift in this particular circular shift operation on a hypercube network. So here the mapping of an 8-node linear array we have done onto a 3-dimensional hypercube to perform a circular 5 shift as a combination of a 4 shift and a 1 shift. If you see that, so 4 shift means if you see there concurrently, how many nodes are communicating there. If you see that, so this is about the circular shift on a hypercube network. If you see that, so similarly we will get idea, that is the circular q shifts on a 8-node hypercube where q is greater than or equal to 1 and less than 8. If you see that, so how it takes place, that is also represented step by step in diagram number in current slide. If you see that, okay, circular shift on a hypercube. So there are total 8 nodes. So number of you can say the steps are 7 here. If you see that, so 7 number of shifts are required. That is diagram A showing 1 shift, B showing 2 shift, and C is showing 3 shift, and D showing the 4 circular shift, and 5 E showing 5 shift, F showing 6 shift, and G showing 7 shift. Okay, so if you take the reference of the previous example and how actually the shifting circular shifting is taking place, so you can that is the practice this example also, how actually the circular shift operation works on a, you can say, the mesh network and the hypercube network. So this is the circular q shifts on an 8-node hypercube, that is the q greater than or equal to 1 and less than 8, or it ranges from the you can say 1 to 7. Okay, it is less than 8, that's why 1 to 7. Then next topic from this unit number 3, because this is 9th lecture on unit number 3. If you see there, improving performance of a communication operations in a parallel computational networks. If you see there, so here we have seen the different that is the communication operations in this unit, that is the one to all broadcast, all to one reduction, okay, all to all broadcast, and all to that is the one reduction also. Then scatter and gather operation we have seen. Then all to all personalized communication, that is also seen. Okay, then all reduce operations we have seen. Then circular shift operations we have seen. Okay, so these operations also having the limitations also there. Okay, performance related limitations, or the whatever algorithms are designed for these communication operations, they are having the some you can say the performance bottlenecks, or the you can say the related to the time complexity or the space complexity, if you say that. So we'll discuss how we can improve the performance of few communication operations here. So if you read the first point here, that is splitting and routing messages into parts. Okay, so this is like a, you can say the scatter and gather operation, scatter operation. Okay, if the message can be split into p parts, a one to all broadcast can be implemented as a scatter operation. Okay, which is followed by an all to all broadcast operation, if you see that. So there is the possibility, that is the if message size is p m, if you see there, and if you split that message into p number of parts, okay, and if you apply there, you can say the one to all broadcast operation. Okay, and this can be implemented as a scatter operation. Okay, one to all broadcast operation you are implementing, but this can be implemented as a scatter operation followed by an all to all broadcast operation. Okay, and the time for this is t equal to 2 times ts log p plus tw into p minus 1 steps into m by p. Okay, m by p. Okay, p are the number of nodes, if you see there, m number of you can say the or it can be the message size. Okay, if you see there, then if you eliminate that term, that is the second term. Okay, that is the, it will become 2 into ts log p, that is it, and twm. Okay, if you see there, because you have assumed there you can say the p. Okay, this second term twp. Okay, then you are multiplying with the m by p, so it will become the, that is the p will be cancelled there, and it will become t m, and the second term will be there m by p. So we have assumed this as a negligible. Okay, m by that is tw m by p. Okay, so in that case it will become the tw m, if you see there. So in this case this will be the, you can say the somewhat improved communication between the that particular operation. Okay, if you see there, its communication cost will be somewhat less in this case. Okay, then if you read the second point here, all to one reduction can be performed by performing all to all reduction. Okay, there is also solution over this, how you can improve the all to one reduction. Okay, that is the communication operation, and how you can reduce the communication cost. Okay, so all to one reduction can be performed by performing the all to all reduction. Okay, that is the dual of all to all broadcast, which is followed by a gather operation, that is the dual of scatter. Okay, in order to improve the performance of the all to one reduction operation. So this is also the one way. Okay, then another way, okay, if you see there regarding the all reduce operation. Okay, since an all reduce operation is semantically equivalent to an all to one reduction. Okay, so we have seen the all reduce operation and as well as the all to one reduction. So somewhat both operations are semantically equivalent. Okay, but in this case, that is the all to all reduce operation is semantically equivalent to an all to one reduction, which is followed by a one to all broadcast. Okay, And the asymptotically optimal algorithms for these two operation can be used to construct a similar algorithm for the all reduce operation. So for these both operations, you can construct the you can show the similar algorithm. Okay, that is the optimal algorithm. Optimal in the sense it will have the you can consider the less that is the time complexity and the space complexity if you see there. So you can construct a similar algorithm for the all reduce operation also. Okay, in which communication cost will be reduced. Okay, this is one solution for the all reduce operation. Then another point we have discussed here regarding the gather and scatter operations, because gather and scatter operation cancel each other. Okay, then solution over this one is an all reduce operation requires an all to all reduction and an all to all broadcast. So solution for this one you can use the that is the all reduce operation. Okay, and along with that operation you can use the all to all reduction and all to all broadcast operation if you see there. So these are the different ways in order to improve the performance of these different communication operations. Okay, so there are different alternative ways available there if you see there. And the question on this topic will be like that is the what is circular shift. Sometime this will be asked there. Okay, so you should know this is the permutations of the that particular equation we have seen there. Okay, that is the I mod that I is the center there, and q mod p, that particular equation you can use there. Then write a short note on circular shift on image. This may be asked for 6 marks. Then a question may be asked on circular shift on a hypercube network also. Okay, so this is all about the you can consider the improving performance of communication operations in a different communication operations we have discussed earlier. So we'll stop here. If you have any difficulty, you can discuss